Committee will come to order. And colleagues, this is nominations week here in the Senate Finance Committee. This is the second of 3 nomination hearings. We're very pleased to be able to welcome Attorney General Javier Becerra, President Biden's nominee, to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. With a pandemic raging, so many Americans are struggling to get by, and our healthcare system is strained to the max. There may not be a higher stakes job in the executive branch outside the presidency. Attorney General Becerra brings more than 2 decades of experience in the Congress. He was a senior member of the House Ways and Means Committee, which overlaps with this committee on many important health issues. He was closely involved in major accomplishments on healthcare, including the Affordable Care Act. For 4 years, he's led the second largest Department of Justice in America, overseeing thousands of employees and $1 billion budget. Anybody who discounts the experience of leading a California agency that large and influential to the 5th largest economy in the world is straining awfully hard to find something to critique. The Attorney General defended the Affordable Care Act from absurd and dangerous far-right attacks. When the pandemic hit, he went to bat for Californians by increasing access and affordability for COVID treatments, protecting workers from exposure, and securing key safeguards for frontline healthcare workers. Having started my career in legal aid for senior citizens as the co-founder of the Oregon Gray Panthers, I appreciate the Attorney General got his start in legal aid for the less fortunate. This is a nominee with the right policy experience, the right leadership experience, and the right experience fighting for people without power. That's exactly what's needed at the Department of Health and Human Services after 4 years of management that took America in the wrong direction. Now, in this committee, a special focus of our work is going to be tackling inequality in every form. In America, inequality is a killer. If you didn't believe it before the pandemic, there can be no questioning it today. People of modest means, people targeted by discrimination, people marginalized in society, they're the Americans who suffered disproportionately in the pandemic. That's because they were vulnerable before the pandemic, and federal policies didn't do enough to protect them. I'll tick through a few examples. First, Americans are getting clobbered every time they walk up to the pharmacy window to pick up their prescription drugs. In a country as wealthy as ours, it is shameful that you still hear about people rationing their own medicine and suffering terrible consequences because they can't afford their medicine. Second, the pandemic has proven there needs to be a new focus on mental health in America. With so many lives lost and so many people out of work, it shouldn't be a surprise that people in Oregon and across the country are struggling when it comes to mental health care. Compared to physical health care issues, mental health has gotten short shrift for far too long. Now, the law says they're equally important, but I'll tell you, that's often not the way it's handled in the real world. That needs to be changed. We're going to talk some more about it this afternoon. Third, the pandemic has shined a spotlight on many long-running disparities in healthcare in the country, many of them that stretch back generations. One of them is maternal health care. The American people want this to be a pro-family nation. It's totally unacceptable that pregnancy and childbirth in the postpartum period are so dangerous to American women, particularly when you compare our country to wealthy nations. This is especially serious for Black and Native American women, and it's getting worse as the years go by. In fact, here's a shocking statistic. Women today are more likely to die in childbirth than their mothers were a generation ago. Addressing this crisis goes hand in hand with the need to expand and improve women's health care overall, since the last 4 years have been a women's health nightmare. Now, I'm looking forward to working with the Attorney General and the Biden administration on these issues and more. It's been a difficult 4 years for too many vulnerable Americans who struggle to pay for medicine and secure health care. If AG Becerra and his team start every day actually focusing on expanding health care and improving health services instead of limiting them, they'll already be doing better than the last administration. This is a nominee who is highly qualified. He's got a valuable range of experience that will help him succeed in this job, and this is a historic nomination because the Attorney General would be the first Latino Secretary of Health and Human Services. Finally, I want to congratulate him on a late-breaking development. Today, he won in federal court defending California's net neutrality law. And I see the chair of the Commerce Committee who's done so much on that issue, and we're looking forward to seeing the Attorney General score more wins for the American people.